Unmatched is famous for having an extensive roster of playable characters, but with so many matchups available, it is extremely difficult to play them all. In this series, we will be analyzing a variety of matchups in detail and hopefully discover some hidden gems. Join me as we explore the latest matchup of the month. If you're a fan of the channel, consider supporting me on Patreon. For as little as $1 per month, you can help me continue to bring you premier Unmatched content. Unlock exclusive rewards by becoming a patron today.
What's up guys, Zero Skater here, and we are finally back for matchup of the month, this time for February. I know it's a little late, but we're back on track and I'm excited for it. We're going to have Nikola Tesla versus Tomoe Gozen. So both relatively newer fighters. We saw Tesla and Tomoe both in the recent Winner of Champions tournament, and I think both of those fighters put up really good results. So it's going to be interesting to see them go against each other. They also have a lot of similarities, both being solo fighters and ranged. So that's going to be really cool to see that dynamic. I don't really know how this one's going to go. I haven't played much of either of these fighters. Tesla, I've played a handful, but Tomoe, I think I only played like one game. But I've heard that she's quite good, and I think the tournament results would speak for themselves there. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. If you missed the last episode, I know it's been a while, but go check that one out. That was Bruce Lee versus Yanenga. That one's just a blast. I think it's a really cool matchup, very fun, and if you love comboing with Bruce Lee, you'd love it as well. So go check that one out. And yeah, just thanks everybody for being patient with me during this kind of drought. I am catching back up with all the episodes now, so we're going to get them pumping out pretty soon here. So hope you're all excited. But anyways, as always guys, be sure to attack that like button if you enjoy the video, and subscribe for more Unmatched content. And with that said, let's not wait any longer. We will finally jump into matchup of the month. We're going to see Nikola Tesla versus Tomoe Gozen.
Alright, so here we are on Vorpal Board as always. If you're unfamiliar with Vorpal Board, check out the link in the description below. I am an affiliate with them, so if you like what you see and you want to jump in, I do get a little bit of compensation if you use my link to sign up. So check it out. It's a great platform for doing all this stuff unmatched that we love to do. But let's go ahead and jump into our first fighter, being Nikola Tesla. So Tesla is a ranged solo fighter. He's got 14 health and he's move 2. So move 2 is not the best, but being ranged obviously is very good. And his ability is Electrical Overflow. You start the game with 1 coil charged. At the end of your turn, charge 1 coil. And then at the start of your turn, if both coils are charged, you deal 1 damage to each opposing fighter adjacent to Tesla and move them up to 1 space. So there's a lot going on here. It's kind of like Beowulf, where you have this extra resource that you're managing, being your coils. So you start with 1, you have a max of 2. At the end of your turn, you're always going to charge 1 up, so you're always going to end your turn with at least 1 coil to use on your opponent's turn, which is great. And then if you have both coils charged at the start, which means you didn't spend any on your opponent's turn and you got up to full coils, then you can deal a damage to every adjacent fighter. So nobody wants to pin Tesla necessarily, because he's going to zap them all for 1 damage and he gets to move them all up to 1 space as well. So really powerful ability, and there's a lot going on here. So what do you want to do with these coils? Well, let's take a look at some of the cards in his deck. Obviously they all revolve around the coils, and they're really strong, let me tell you. So the first one being Death Ray. It's a 3-value attack. During combat, you may discharge coils. If you discharge 1 coil, then this card's value is 5. If you discharge 2 coils, then instead this card's value is 7. And this is insane, because again, if you get max coils, you're just throwing a 7, just a straight 7. Sure, the opponent can feint it, but they still take a damage, and then you retain your coils to use either defensively on your opponent's turn or on your next attack turn. So really, really strong card. You have 3 copies, which is crazy. That's a lot of damage output. It's also a 4-value boost, which is very good. You're going to be able to basically reach anywhere on the map with a 4-value boost, and being ranged at that, so you can chase very well. And man, Death Ray is just an insane card. You don't often want to use it as a 5 because you likely just have better things to do with a single coil than just bump this to a 5. And it kind of feels bad if they value block, like with a skirmish, a max value block, then you're not going to really want to make this a 5 most likely. It's either making it a 7 is great because you do 3 damage, but just a 5 isn't quite good enough in most cases, I would say. So if they max value block the death ray and you don't have the full coils, then you probably just leave it and say, okay, fine, I wasted one of your best blocks, which is good. But then again, you're probably not attacking with this if you only have a single coil most often anyways. So there's a lot to consider here. But let's look at the next card being 7 Hertz. This card's crazy combo potential because as you can see, after combat you can discharge coils. If you do 1 coil, you gain an action. So a 4 value attack, gain an action. That's a really strong Jeet. If it's canceled by a feint, you deal 2 over the feint, you're fine. You don't get to combo, but hey, 2 damage and wasted a feint. You're pretty happy about that. And then if they don't feint, then you can just combo off. And if you do 2 coils, you also get to draw a card. So that is even more combo potential. But Tesla's not really very scary without coils, so it's kind of situational that you use that effect. Most often you're just doing the single coil to gain the action, and this is a pretty dang good card. 3 copies in the deck, 3 boost value, another really high boost. This card's fantastic. Moving on, again, one of the best cards in his deck. I feel like I'm going to say that a lot here, but we have the Alternating Current. So after combat, you choose one. You either charge both coils, so if you're empty, you can charge up fully, or the more likely effect is that you discharge both coils and you have Tesla recover 2 health. So a 5 value attack that heals 2 is insane. If they feint it, okay, they stopped your healing, but you got 3 damage. You should be happy. And if they don't feint it, you still probably dealt at least 1 damage over a max value block. And if they block suboptimally, even more damage, and then you get the healing, that's a huge health swing. So again, a 3 boost, that's really high, although you probably don't want to be boosting with this card almost ever, but hey, sometimes you might have to. But yeah, 2 copies of this in the deck, super, super powerful card, and definitely the best feint punish in the deck. Next card, we're going to see Intense Experimentation, 3 value block. After combat, you draw 1 card, and then you can discharge coils. So if you do 1 coil, you can draw an extra card. So instead of drawing the 1, you draw 2. And then if you do 2 coils, then you draw 3, and you recover a health. So that's really, really good. This can flip the hand advantage in an instant. It's crazy because cards that draw on defense are kind of more powerful than cards that draw on attack or from schemes. Because when you're drawing from a scheme, you're just kind of replacing itself more often than not. And then when you're drawing from an attack, your opponent has time to react because then it's their turn and they can maneuver away if they're scared. They need to find defenses. They can still just attack you. Whatever they want to do, they have time to react. But when they come approach you and attack, which they're going to have to do most often because you're ranged, so they maneuver first action, they attack you, and then you play this, and all of a sudden you have massive hand advantage because you drew 3 cards and you got to even heal 1 as well. So that kind of makes this a max value block in a sense, being a 4. That's just really, really strong. And an important note with this card is that you always draw the 1 card no matter what. You get to draw it, look at the card first, and then you decide how you want to spend your coils. So if you spend the 1, you draw 1 additional, or 2 coils, you draw 2 additional. But you always are going to draw the 1 first. You get to see it, then you decide on your coils. So really, really strong defense card here, and 3 copies in the deck is great. Next up, we're going to see X-Ray Radiation, another one of the strongest cards in the deck. 4 value versatile, that's a max value block printed, that's amazing. It's another decently good feint punish. And during combat, you reveal the top card of your opponent's deck, and you may discharge coils. You either 1 coil, you discard that card. That's amazing. It's like a Lady Justice from She-Hulk's deck, where you just get to mill the top card of your opponent's deck. That's just insanely good in this game, as we all know, because it pushes them closer to fatigue, and they lose out on potentially a key card in their deck. If you do 2 coils, you are also going to add its boost value to this card's value, so that essentially turns it into a blind boost off of your opponent's deck, which is ridiculous. So again, this is a card that you most often want to just use 1 coil. Using 2 coils is not super common, but if you really need the defense value against like a beast form or something, it can come in handy. Or if they played a suboptimal block and it's not being canceled, you might just want the damage over the top while you can get it. Again, you just got to be careful with your coils. That's what this character is all about. Moving on, we have polyphase coils. another insane card. Oh my gosh. 3 value versatile. Immediately, you may discharge coils. If you do 1, you cancel all effects on your opponent's card. So that is a versatile feint that is like a super feint, right? Bigfoot has the super feint on defense with imagination, but this can be offense or defense if you just spend a coil. That's crazy. But if you spend 2 coils, you're also going to ignore that card's value, and this becomes a what big eyes you have from Little Red, which is insane. So if you throw this on offense and they don't feint it, they don't cancel it, you can fully blank your opponent's defense card by discharging the 2 coils. It's going to negate the effect of it, and it's going to just run right through the value for 3 damage to their face. And that's just insanely good. It helps you set up confirmed lethals really well if your opponent doesn't have feints or you ran them out of the feints. And this is also an insanely good block because if you have 2 coils and let's say you're going up against I don't know, somebody who has big printed values as well as really nasty effects, like let's say Wukong, right? And if it's an Ox form, you can discharge the 2 coils so that you negate the value and you don't take any damage. And if it's a Jingubong, well, you can just discharge 1 coil to cancel the second attack of that so you don't have to spend another block card. So it's just really good. It's very versatile because you get to see the opponent's combat card before you make your choice. This card's insane, and 3 copies is crazy. Next up, we have Lightning Storm. This is insane in certain matchups because after combat, you may discharge coils, and 1 coil deals 1 damage to each opposing fighter in your zone, and 2 coils does 2 damage instead. So it's AoE, auto damage, area of effect, right? It hits the whole zone of yours. That's really strong against token sidekicks, somebody like Wukong, even Yananga, because you can discharge 2 coils and deal 2 damage and blow up all the archers in one go, as well as hitting Yananga if you set this up right. That's just crazy good. Again, 3 copies in the deck makes it pretty consistent if you want to try to get this card in a certain matchup. And a 3 value versatile is not the worst thing in the world anyways, so this card is really, really strong. And then Repulsion Blast. This is actually one of the weaker cards in the deck. It's just a 2 value versatile, which is pretty bad. And then after combat, you move the opposing fighter up to 2 spaces. So that always is going to happen, which is pretty good. You can maneuver up, attack them, and push them back. And then you don't have to spend any coils. And you charge up a coil at the end, and then they have to approach you. So that's pretty good at pushing somebody away like a rending shot would. But with the coils, you can discharge 1 to also move Tesla up to 2 spaces, which would make a gap of 4 spaces in between both fighters, which means every fighter that's melee at least would have to boost in order to reach you. And oftentimes you could probably force boosts from ranged fighters as well based on the zone layout. So that's pretty decent. But if you do 2 coils, your opponent also discards a random card. And we all know how good random discards are. So this card can be really strong in certain matchups and in certain game states. But it's definitely one of the more niche cards in Tesla's deck, I would say. You're not going to be wanting to go for this all the time like you would something like an X-ray radiation or probably a polyphase. But hey, it's got its uses. 3 copies in the deck is pretty nice if you want to try to play somewhat of a value game and just go for those random discards. The last combat card in the deck, we're going to see Kinetic Induction. This is kind of some glue that holds the deck together because obviously you get a coil at the end of every turn, but also you probably want to speed that up in some ways. And so this card lets you do that really well because it's a 2 value versatile that says after combat you charge 1 coil. That's automatic. And then if you won the combat, you charge both your coils. So it's kind of like a regroup in that sense where it's a really low value printed, but if you win the combat off of that low printed value, you get a additional bonus. In this case, charging both coils instead of just 1. And there are definitely certain scenarios and matchups where you can maybe land an undefended hit with this and recharge your coils up to full. If you're at 1 coil and then you're okay with taking some damage, you can play this on defense so that, yeah, you lost some health when they came and attacked you, but you also are going to start your turn fully charged, and that means you can deal even more damage back to the opponent. So it's sort of a health trade in that sense. So that can be really strong. But I do really just like attacking with this when you have the initiative because of the way your opponent's been playing. And so you kind of have to approach because there are no passes in this deck. Spoiler alert. But so you have the initiative, you have to approach, you have no coils, so you're not going to, none of your attacks are very threatening. You could do the printed 5 and charge up, but if you're not getting a double attack turn, that's kind of a waste of a coil because you don't want to maneuver up to them, attack with the 5, fully charge your coils, and then end your turn, and you'd manually be getting one of those coils anyways because of your ability. So you're kind of wasting a coil in that sense, and you really want to try to maximize your coils the best you can. So that's not typically a very good play. And because of that, you don't really have any threatening attacks without any coils. And this is the perfect card because, hey, if they take it undefended, fine. They took 2 damage. You got your coils charged up just like you wanted. And if they do defend, even better for you then, because you're going to charge 1 coil from this effect, and then you're going to charge 1 at the end, and you'll end your turn fully charged. So kinetic induction, it's not anything super crazy, but it's definitely a great card. Like I said, the glue that kind of holds the deck together. And then the last 2 cards, we have a couple of schemes. First one is fully charged. Very simple. It just charges both coils, and you gain an action. So it's really good. It's no loss of tempo at all because of the action gain. And you just get to instantly charge up, and then you can sometimes surprise your opponent. Like maybe they're expecting a kind of a breathing room turn, right, where they can relax. They don't have to worry about any big damage or anything. And they expect you maybe to just double maneuver, maybe attack with a kinetic induction, but you're like, nope, I'm going to move in, I'm going to do fully charged, and now you have everything to worry about because I could action gain with 7 hertz, I could heal with my big 5, I could hit you with a 7 with a death ray, I could blank your defense if you're defending with the polyphase, and it's just super, super threatening. So fully charged flips the switch instantly. And last but not least, we have remote control. This is insane in pretty much every matchup, but especially matchups where you're against token sidekicks, because you get to move all opposing fighters up to 2 spaces and gain an action. So it's kind of like a mini Command the Storms from Merlin in Arthur's deck. Only 2 movement spaces instead of 3, and you only get to move the opposing fighters, but you do gain the action, which is insane in this deck. Not to mention it's a 3 boost value if you need it. But what you can do with this is it sets up double attack turns because your opponent, you're ranged, right? But your opponent's going to want to stay out of your zone. But a lot of times you can set it up to where you remote control first action, you pull them into your zone, and then you're set up to double attack them. That's really strong. But it's absolutely a blowout in certain matchups, like I mentioned with the token sidekicks, because you can remote all the sidekicks and the hero into the same zone and then hit them with a lightning storm and blow them all up in one go. So that's super threatening, especially in tournament play when you can set up those kind of scenarios sometimes on certain maps where you're going first and you can just maneuver into the zone, play the remote control, pull everybody in, you gain the action from the remote control, and you use your second action to hit with a lightning storm, and you even start the game with a coil, so you can blow up all the sidekicks, maybe against like Medusa, on your first turn. And not even attack into the clutching claws because you can hit into Medusa herself, and then all the harpies are gone, and you have less to worry about. So that's insanely strong. Remote control is definitely not something to be slept on. It has a lot of utility. And that's Tesla for you. I mean, you can see all of these cards are like, oh my gosh, this is like the craziest card I've ever seen. And you'd be right. I mean, these cards are absolutely ridiculous. But the thing is, you don't get to use all of the effects. You don't get actually 3 full death rays and 3 7 hertz action gains and 2 healing and all 3 polyphase and your X-ray radiations. Like, you have a limited number of coils, and so you don't truly get to maximize all of the potential of the deck. Now, your goal is to maximize it as best you can, but of course you're not going to hit everything fully. And that's what's so fun about this character, because it's just a really big resource management game and a really big tempo game as well. And he's just so, so, so fun. I love this character. I haven't played him nearly as much as I would like to, but I really have enjoyed him anytime I have played him, and I've been pretty successful with him in tournament play and otherwise. So he's definitely one of my favorite fighters that has been released in the last, I don't know, even maybe last year or so. He's just super, super cool. And the decisions on like when you want to kind of waste coils by starting your turn for the ping, right? Because if you're starting your turn fully charged, you didn't spend them on your opponent's turn. So that decision on like when to conserve your coils and just get the pings is just really important, because in some matchups you might be able to just grind your opponent down with auto damage and win that way. But most often, I think he has the initiative on him, and he's playing to kill you. He's not playing a value game. He's not trying to fatigue you. He's trying to utilize his coils the best he can and maximize his damage output and kill the opponent. So That's really fun. I know a lot of people get tired of the fatigue game style, and Tesla is the fighter for you if you want to just go ham and kill your opponent. So, super cool fighter. Definitely try him out if you haven't already. He's a blast. And let's go ahead and move on to our next fighter. All right, so here we are with our next fighter being Tomoe Gozen, and she is one of the newer fighters from the Sun's Origins set, along with Oda Nobunaga. So we're going to see her in action today, but let's take a look at her deck first. So Tomoe is another ranged solo fighter. Would you look at that? And also 14 starting health. Seems familiar. Also move 2, so a lot of similarities to Tesla here. But the ability is called Attack of Opportunity. So when an opposing hero leaves Tomoe Gozen's zone, deal 1 damage to that hero. Very, very simple ability, but a very powerful one. So, a couple things to note. First of all, it's opposing hero, so not sidekicks. It doesn't work on sidekicks, so don't get too excited. But still really strong. So whenever they leave Tomoe's zone, you deal a damage to that hero. It doesn't matter if they maneuvered out of the zone. It doesn't matter if you moved them with a card effect. It doesn't matter if they moved themselves with a card effect. It doesn't matter if they moved into the zone and then proceeded to move out of the zone in the same maneuver. It doesn't matter. So anytime the opposing hero leaves your zone, they're going to take a damage. That's really, really strong. And the reason is because most often in this game, you're not just butting heads. You're not just holding forward, right? Going right at each other and just attacking until you both have no cards in hand and then just kind of playing off top decks. That doesn't really happen in this game, at least at a competitive level, because once you start getting low hand count, you often want to maneuver away so that you, A, create some space in between you and your opponent so that they might not be able to reach you at all. And even if they are going to reach you, they may have to boost, which is costing them extra cards to get to you. And B, it is drawing you more cards from your deck, of course, which is going to give you not only more options of combat cards to play, but also you might not have any defense at all, and that might find you the defenses that you need. So, there's a lot of like engagement, and then you kind of back off and you regroup your hand count, and then you go engage again, and that kind of ebbs and flows. That's how Unmatched plays, right? But with Tomoe, it kind of changes things a little bit because you may want to leave the zone because she's ranged, and if you don't leave the zone, you're setting yourself up to be attacked instantly. But it comes at a cost because you're going to be losing your health to do so. So it's kind of, as the opponent, you're kind of thinking, okay, well, if I stay in place, am I going to end up taking more damage than if I just take the 1 damage and move away? And maybe the answer is yes, and maybe the answer is no. It's really tough. It depends on the matchup. It depends on the game state. And that's what makes it so fun, right? Because there's a lot of decisions to be made at all times because of this ability. Very simple, but very effective. So now let's take a look at the actual deck. Wow, right off the bat, we're going to see a printed 7, which we all know how strong those are. But typically in the past, anytime we've seen a printed 7, it also has somewhat of a downside to it. Ox form, your opponent can boost to match the value. The Cloak and Dagger one deals auto damage back to Dagger as well. In this case, Witness My Last Battle is going to say this attack can only target a fighter adjacent to Tomoe Gozen, and you play it face up. Wow, really cool. So that's not an effect that can be canceled. That's kind of like Little Red's Big Ears, where it's just kind of a condition on the card. It's not an effect, it's more of a condition. So you can only play this face up when you're adjacent. Otherwise, you can't play this card. And then after combat, you end the turn. So ending your own turn obviously is not very good because if you did this first action, you have no remaining action. You don't get to maneuver and draw cards. You don't get to get away. You don't get to make a follow-up attack. So more often than not, you don't want to be playing this as first action, but there might be some niche cases where you actually do because negating one of your own actions actually helps you out in fatigue. So that's a really interesting thing about this card is that you might want to purposefully end your turn prematurely in order to help yourself out in the exhaustion game. So I just love that aspect. It's super cool. I love that you're a ranged fighter, but you have a card that really benefits off of being adjacent. And so the opponent can play around that. There's counterplay to your big swing here because they can put sidekicks in the way. They can try to get just too far away where you could reach them from a range attack, but not a melee attack. And if you're a melee fighter, then Tomoe has to put herself in danger of being double attacked on the counter attack turn in order to play this. So Just super cool. Everything about this card is awesome. The art is amazing. It's a 4 value boost, which is ridiculous. Again, that's just really good for a ranged fighter. It probably lets you reach anywhere on the board. You're not going to want to use that in that way most often because then you're losing when your best attacks, but there are niche case scenarios where it might win you a game. So just keep it in mind. But Witness My Last Battle, an amazing card. Next up, we're going to see Warrior's Way, 2 value attack, not very impressive there, but after combat, you move the opposing fighter up to 3 spaces. Then, if they are a hero, you place Tomoe Gozen in a space adjacent to them. So this lets you push them away out of your zone for your ability to trigger for some auto damage, and then you also get to hop adjacent to them if they are a hero. So it's a perfect 1-2 punch to go a Warrior's Way, push them out of the zone, jump adjacent to them, and then finish them with Witness My Last Battle. So that's really deadly combo right there. Also, if you guys are standing on a zone's edge, then you can push them out of the zone. They take a damage, pull them back into your zone, push them back out of the zone again. Now they've taken 2 pings, 2 points of auto damage from your ability just from this one card effect because those 3 spaces kind of bounced in and out of the zone multiple times. So that's really, really strong. This card definitely doesn't look anything too crazy, but it's very powerful. Next up, we're going to see 5 Against Thousands. This is one of the more underwhelming cards of the deck. It's a fine feint punish because your opponent's never going to play a feint into your face-up 7, of course. But when they don't know what you're attacking with, they might try to cancel something like the Warrior's Way that we just saw to avoid auto damage and then get punished with 5 Against Thousands. But after combat, if Tomoe is adjacent to the opposing fighter, you can discard a card to put this back into your hand. So it's another payoff for being adjacent, although it's not a super big one because all this is a blank 4 value attack essentially, and it can be recycled, but most of your other attacks are better than this, and so you're not going to want to use this effect too often. But hey, if you want to try to be really aggressive, you could sacrifice a defense card in your hand for a red card, right? And so that's kind of a cool exchange there. But again, you can only do it if you're adjacent to the opponent, so it's super niche in terms of the effect, but the card's okay. Next up, Fearsome Strength is very strong. Immediately, you get to swap spaces with an adjacent fighter, and then after combat, you get to deal 1 damage to an adjacent fighter. So that's really good because it helps you get through 1 health sidekicks, or any sidekicks for that matter, by swapping spaces immediately, and then you could do a ping damage to the hero if they were, sandwiched, blocked off by their sidekick. Then you get to switch places and ping the hero even though you attacked the sidekick. So that's really cool. Also, if you're swapping spaces with a hero with this ability, immediately you can deal a damage potentially with your ability if you're on a zone cutoff again. So Fearsome Strength is pretty cool. There's some neat things you can do with this card. Next up, Piercing Shot is a card we've seen before in Robin Hood's deck. Very simple but very effective. 2 value attack, after combat, draw 2 cards. Now, that's really good, especially at 3 copies in the deck. This is some pretty reliable card draw and really lets Tomoe put on the pressure and keep up tempo. And that's exactly what she wants, because if she's able to pressure her opponent really well, she forces them to want to back off, and that would mean more pings from your ability when they do back out of your zone. And then if they're not backing out of your zone and they're staying in your zone, you get to just blast them and use those cards you drew to keep up your attacks. So Piercing Shot is really, really strong in this deck. Another thing your opponent might want to feint, and in that case, 5 Against Thousands is a good punish into that. Next up, a couple of blue cards. Refuse to Retreat is a 3 value blue. Immediately, Tomoe cannot leave her space for the rest of the turn, so it keeps her in place. It's kind of the opposite of a combo breaker, which is funny, but you're not going to retreat. But you also can't be pushed away. So something like a Rending Shot or a Swinging Web Kick, things like that can't push you away. So if they're attacking you as their last action, expecting to push you out so that they can avoid the double counterattack, this card can stop that, which is kind of cool. Very niche. The more important effect is after combat, if the opposing fighter is adjacent, your opponent discards the card. We all know, like Shield Formation or Clutching Claws or Hiss and Slither, discard effects, especially on defense cards, are really, really strong because, again, the opponent has less time to react to the discard. So this can be very punishing if the opponent is trying to attack you while they are at low hand count. It makes it very, very risky. But again, it only works if the opposing fighter is adjacent, so against ranged fighters, this card's not nearly as effective. Next up, Deeds of Valor, I think, is one of the weakest cards in the deck. It's just a 2 value blue. During combat, Tomoe cannot take more than 2 combat damage this combat. 3 copies is kind of a bummer. I don't really like this card because if they throw a 4, they're happy that you just played a blank 2 and took 2 damage and did nothing with it. If they play a 5, okay, you played a blank 3 into their 5, and as the opponent, I would still be very happy if my opponent played a blank 3 into my 5. So this really only gets decent if they're throwing a 6, because like against a Bigfoot log, yeah, this is good because you're going to take 2 damage when normally you'd take 4 over a 2. So it essentially makes this card a max value block, being a 4, because you take 2 from the log. So I really only like this card into those big swings, 6 plus. Otherwise, I think it's really underwhelming, and I'm not a big fan. This card, however, I'm a big fan of this one. Confront any demon or god. 3 value versatile, 3 boost value, but you're not going to want to boost with this almost ever. After combat, you draw a card, and then if you lost the combat, you look at your opponent's hand and you choose a card for them to discard. So it's like a Sultan's from Genie's deck where you get to look and discard the card of your choice, which is insane. Especially, again, on defense, if the opponent maneuvers up and attacks you going for a big attack, and you play this, sure, you're going to take some damage, but you get to, first of all, draw a card to make up for this, so that helps in the hand advantage there. Then you get to look at your opponent's hand, rip out their best defense card, and then, surprise, now you're getting blasted with maybe the Warrior's Way into Witness, 1-2 punch combo that I mentioned earlier for massive, massive damage when the opponent cannot block well because you just ripped out their best block, confirmed with this card effect. So this card is absolutely insane. It makes or breaks games for sure. And you're going to have to figure out when is the best time to play it in the given matchup, because not only does it depend on like the game state and the tempo, but playing it on either attack or defense really depends on the opponent's deck composition. Like certain fighters like to block big often, like Yanenga, and so this might be a better attack because they're likely to block with a 3 or higher, and then you're going to trigger it, but it's a little less effective if used as an attack, but it's still value, which is great. And in that same example, Yanenga often just attacks with little 3s, like a flurry of 3s, and if you play this on defense, you're probably winning the combat with Demon, which is not what you want. You want to lose the combat. So really, really interesting card, makes a lot of cool decisions, and it's incredibly powerful. Next up, Worthy Opponent. Definitely not a flashy card, but really strong. During combat, if the opposing fighter is a hero, this is 5 value instead. So it's kind of your momentous shift, but all that it depends upon is the opponent being a hero, not a sidekick. So having 5 value blocks against heroes like Bigfoot and whatnot is absolutely insane. It makes Tomoe a lot tankier than she might seem. Next up, Skirmish, common card. You know, it's amazing. It's probably my favorite card in the game. It's just so versatile. It's a max value block. It's a good feint punish. It's a good combo breaker. Just everything about Skirmish is great. You love to see that, especially at 3 copies in a ranged fighter's deck. Next up, Flash of Steel. It's basically your feint, because 2 value versatile. Immediately, if the opposing fighter is a hero, cancel all effects on your opponent's card. So it's a conditional feint. It only is a feint if you play it against a hero, which is really interesting. It makes sidekicks really, really strong against Tomoe. But then after combat, you do get a little bonus. If the opposing fighter is adjacent, you deal a damage to them. That's not dependent on whether it's a hero or sidekick. So if 1 health token sidekicks come up to attack you, you can ping them off with Flash of Steel, even though you're not going to be canceling their card. So it's a weaker Wily fighting kind of in that regard. But Flash of Steel is just really cool and definitely makes Tomoe have a unique identity to her, being really good against heroes and not so good against sidekicks. So certain decks with a lot of really strong sidekicks are going to do really well against Tomoe in general. And last but not least, another reason why she's so tanky is Lord Kiso's Final Stand. It's a scheme, move Tomoe up to 3 spaces. She can move through sidekicks, and then you choose one to either gain an action or heal 2. So you can either play this as a pass. A movement plus heal 2 pass is absolutely crazy. It's super good for the fatigue game. Or you can use this aggressively because you can move 3 spaces to get into like the opponent's hero's zone without having to take a maneuver, and then gain the action so you haven't lost any tempo, and then you're set up for a double attack turn. So I've seen both options win games, honestly. I think the healing is the more common usage of this card and probably the better of the two in most circumstances. But again, don't sleep on the action gain. Don't forget about it because it can definitely win you games when your opponent is least expecting it. So just a super cool card, very versatile and very strong. 3 copies in the deck. You'll love to see it. And that's going to do it for Tomoe. So again, she's very, very strong against heroes and very weak against sidekicks. So against Tesla, who doesn't have any sidekicks, I think she's going to be very, very good. But there are plenty of matchups where sidekicks are kind of the star of the show. Think, things like Misty Knight, who can just beat the crap out of Tomoe with those commanding impacts, and she can't really do much about it. Or Little Red, who has Huntsman, who can get confirmed auto damage with Once Upon a Time because Tomoe can't cancel against sidekicks. And then it's hard to kill Huntsman as well, and then you get healing for Little Red. So there's some really cool dynamics to be had with Tomoe. I definitely am no expert. I haven't played a whole lot of her at all, and I don't really know her matchup spread super well, but I think she's really interesting, a very unique fighter, that's for sure. So let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of the key matchups before we actually jump into the games. All right, so first of all, I wanted to talk about the offensive polyphase coil. So, obviously, this is a great source of damage typically for Tesla because it's basically 3 confirmed damage if it's not canceled. Now, Tomoe does have the cancel being the Flash of Steel, so it's kind of a 50-50 though, right? Because if you play the Flash of Steel and Tesla through like his printed 5, then that's a big punish because you're going to take 3 damage, and Tesla's likely not adjacent to you, so you're not going to be dealing any damage back to him. And it's kind of like you played blank 2. I mean, it's like a standard feint, right? But Tesla does have that punish, but you do want to cancel the polyphase. And so if you play the Flash into the polyphase, that's good. You're saving yourself damage, but also Tesla gets to keep his coils, so there's always that to consider. And then obviously Worthy Opponent is really good against Tesla's 5, but it's terrible into the polyphase. So it's kind of a lot of coin flippy combat interactions there for Tomoe on what she wants to block with. And then also when you're attacking with Witness My Last Battle, you have to play it face up. And so that gives Tesla full knowledge. Oh, the 7's coming. Let me throw my polyphase and ignore its value by spending the 2 coils. And that's like really huge as well for Tesla. So polyphase is really interesting in this matchup. I think you're probably going to want to use it on offense more often than not and try to catch those defenses that aren't Flash of Steel. And you probably want to wait till you're at 2 coils in order to throw your 5 as Tesla so that you can try to catch that Flash and punish over the top of it. But polyphase, how it's used in this matchup and the combat interactions revolving it, I think are really going to make or break the matchup. So I think this is definitely a key card here and something to look out for. Okay, next up I want to talk about Death Ray and confront any demon or god. So if Demon is used on defense and Tesla throws a Death Ray, it's a really interesting decision because when Tesla has at least 1 coil, if not 2 coils, you're probably going to be taking damage, so you could play Demon on defense pretty reliably, except, of course, against the polyphase that I just mentioned. That is a massive punish if you throw Demon defensively into a full coil polyphase. That's a disaster. But also, it might be a Death Ray, and you might want to lose the combat depending on the game state. So the interesting thing about this, though, if it does show up for Tesla, is that he has a big decision to make. He can either bump up the Death Ray and land the damage over top the demon, or he can just not spend the coils and keep it a 3 so that he loses the combat, the demon wins and doesn't get its effect to look at the hand and discard one of Tesla's cards. So it's like, do I want the damage and I'm okay losing a card, or do I need to save my cards but then I lose out on the damage? And I just think that's a really interesting choice to make. I do think that Demon is probably better being used on offense in this matchup if you're Tomoe, because most of Tesla's blocks, as we saw, are 3 values, unless it's the Repulsion Blast or the Kinetic Induction, I think it was, the 2 that recharges your coils. But it is kind of cool that Tesla has those options to block low on purpose, because A, he knows it's not the 7, because that's being played face up, and B, you might lose the combat defending with a 2 from an offensive demon. And so I guess it's really not safe for Tomoe either way. Tesla has ways around demon. And because of that, Tomoe might want to be playing it on defense. And this Death Ray situation very well might show up. So I think it's definitely something to look out for in the matchup. All right, next up, I think this one is super cool. It's the interaction between Warrior's Way being used to attack from Tomoe and Tesla defending with a Repulsion Blast. So, like I mentioned, you might want to defend with Repulsion if you're playing around an offensive demon from Tomoe, but also it's pretty good against Warrior's Way because, of course, Tomoe attacking you, you start off in the same zone more often than not, unless you're adjacent at a zone cutoff. But anyways, you're probably in the same zone. Warrior's Way wants to move you back and forth through a zone cutoff to deal auto damage. But if Tesla defends with the Repulsion Blast, because after combat the defender resolves first, of course. Shout out to the podcast. Greatest Unmatched podcast ever. But anyways, after combat you get to move the opposing fighter up to 2 spaces. And Tomoe's effect her ability only triggers when the opposing fighter leaves Tomoe's zone. So if Tomoe's leaving the zone, it's a different story. So the repulsion is going to let you push Tomoe out of your zone that you are sharing into a different zone. And then now, Warrior's Way, not only was it fully value blocked with a 2 into a 2, but also being able to move the opponent 3 spaces is probably not enough to land any sort of auto damage from the ability, because if Tomoe's in a different zone, you'd have to first bring Tesla into Tomoe's zone and then out again. And with only 3 spaces of movement, that's highly, highly unlikely on most maps. So Repulsion Blast is a fantastic block into Warrior's Way. Next up, I want to talk about the kinetic induction defense. So not only is it really good defensively against Demon, as I mentioned before, but it's also fantastic against Piercing Shot and the Warrior's Way that we just talked about. So if you are going for a big attack as Tesla and you spend all your coils on offense, then you end up only with 1 coil going into your opponent's turn. And because now you're in range of Tomoe counterattacking you, she can attack you twice, right? And that's very, very scary because Tesla doesn't have great defenses when it comes to being double attacked. But because you're both ranged, you're likely not ending adjacent at least, so Tomoe's effects aren't quite as scary. And so if she decides to attack you twice, on the first attack, you can play something like an X-ray radiation or a lightning storm or something that's just going to spend 1 coil, and you can hopefully mitigate a decent amount of damage there. And then you're now stuck at no coils, which is terrifying defensively. But again, as long as Tomoe didn't use Warrior's Way to pull you adjacent and then go for the 7, well, then you're able to defend with kinetic induction pretty safely. And that's going to fully charge your coils if it was a Piercing Shot or Warrior's Way. And I feel like oftentimes a Piercing Shot is a pretty common, actually both of these would be pretty common second action attacks, because Piercing is going to refill Tomoe's hand so that she has better blocks for Tesla's coming counterattack. And Warrior's Way would push Tesla out of the zone so that she can at least avoid being double attacked again on the counterattack. So both of these are reasonable second action attack options. And if you can land the kinetic induction into them, I mean, you're going to end up fully charging your coils leading into Tomoe's turn. And that can be definitely a big surprise factor. And it can be really, really powerful. But of course, Tomoe is going to want to play around that. So she might throw the Warrior's Way first and then, or the Piercing Shot first and then maneuver out of the zone, in which case you won't be able to set this up. But it's definitely something for both sides to consider. It's funny how in this matchup, I think Tesla's low value blocks are some of the best blocks that he has into the tools that Tomoe has in her deck. And last but not least, of course, we have to talk about the Witness My Last Battle, and what can Tesla even do about this card? Well, the answer is a lot if he has 2 coils. That's the caveat. So, of course, if Tesla has 2 coils, he's got a couple of great options here with Polyphase and X-ray radiation, because Polyphase will just straight up blank the 7 completely by spending both of those coils, which is really nice. And X-ray radiation can blind boost from your opponent's deck, and Tomoe has a decent amount of pretty good boost values, 2s and 3s, and even this 4 if you could happen to land one of those. So not only are you going to mill a card off Tomoe's deck, but you can bump X-ray up to probably a pretty reliable 6, if not a 7. So that's really, really good defensively, of course, into Witness. But again, that was the caveat of Tesla having 2 coils. So from the Tomoe side, you're going to want to see Witness being used when Tesla only has a single coil. Because if he only has 1 coil, his defense options are pretty dang terrible into Witness. You're going to guarantee at least 3 damage at worst over the X-Ray. And if Tesla doesn't have the X-Ray, then polyphase canceling doesn't do anything at all. So that's just a blank 3. You have Lightning Storm for 1 auto damage, but you're going to take 4 back from the Witness over the Lightning Storm. Those 2s are definitely not going to cut it, the ones that I just talked about previously. And the blue 3 isn't going to get the healing or the massive card draw swing because only 1 coil just draws you 2 cards off of that. So, I mean, that might be okay, but again, just the values are not great outside of X-Ray being kind of just a blank 4, and so Witness is really, really strong if Tesla has only a single coil, or even better, of course, if he has no coils. But I don't think that's going to happen often, if ever, unless you can set up a double attack turn where you do an attack first, you force him to spend a coil, and you bring him adjacent, like the Warrior's Way, as I mentioned, and then you follow up with the Witness over a empty coiled Tesla, but he's probably not going to let that happen. If you do defend, or if you do attack with Warrior's Way first action, he's probably just not going to spend his coil so that he at least can save a single coil for the Witness to try to do something, at least maybe an X-Ray that gets a mill instead of a blank 4. But Witness is very, very strong, and how Tomoe can best utilize that is going to be a key card in the matchup for sure. All right, so overall, I really don't know what to expect from the matchup. I think Tomoe might be able to win playing defensively and going for fatigue because, again, she has a lot of those passes and more healing than Tesla does and better blocks overall. But the problem is if she plays defensively, then that means Tesla gets to hold forward, and then he's not taking pings from her ability, and then he also is getting more time to charge up his coils. So now that I say that, maybe Tomoe does have to go a little bit aggressive and try to just capitalize on Tesla when he's low on coils. It might be a very interesting kind of back and forth game here. I really don't know what to expect, so I'm really looking forward to trying this out. Because Tesla is a solo fighter and Tomoe does really well against heroes but not sidekicks, and Tesla doesn't have the sidekicks, that's a big plus for Tomoe. But again, because of the fact that Tesla typically just likes to hold forward for most of the game, and Tomoe doesn't like that. She likes when people want to run away so that she's getting free pings and whatnot. It's just a really interesting dynamic. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I think they're both super cool fighters. It's going to be really fun to see a solo versus solo, range versus range battle. And again, they both move too. They both have 14 health. So there's a lot of similarities, but also a lot of differences. So I think it's really going to come down to tempo ultimately. Whoever can capitalize, get the hand advantage, and capitalize on that hand advantage, I think is going to be the one to come out on top. But we'll see if Tomoe can switch it around and pull off some kind of defensive fatigue play. I think it's definitely possible, but that's scary against Tesla, man, because he's just getting his coils and his damage output is insane if you're not attacking back at him and forcing him to spend the coils on defense. If you just let him use all his coils on offense, I don't know if you can survive. So it's going to be really cool to find out, but let's jump on over. We'll get Chad, and we'll see what happens between Tesla and Tomoe Gozen. All right. Welcome, everybody, to Matchup of the Month for February 2024. I know it's a little late. It's been like a year since we've done one of these things, man.
I thought we were gonna bluff that we recorded the last one last week,
Oh, yeah, well...
and this is Darkblade's fault.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
That's all Darkblade's fault.
Yeah.
Well, too late unless we want to restart.
Hey, what's up, guys? We haven't aged
What's
a
up,
month.
guys? Welcome to Matchup of the Month for February. I hope you enjoyed last week's episode. It was a definite action-packed one with Yananga and Bruce Lee. And I hope you're excited for this one. For February, we got Nikola Tesla versus Tomoe Gozen. So one of the brand new fighters from the Sun's Origin set that just released.
Yeah.
Tomoe.
I mean, it just came
It
out. Like,
just came out. Like, this
what
is,
was it? 2 days ago?
yeah, this is like brand new early access
Yeah,
stuff
brand
here.
spanking new.
Yeah, so I hope you're
Yeah,
all
we don't
hyped.
even know if like mitosis likes her or anything like that. Like, we don't have any data on that.
Yeah, right. I don't know if anyone's even played her at all, but man,
Yeah.
I bet you people are going to be hyped for this fighter because
I think so.
she's going to be
Yeah.
awesome, and we're going to
I'm cool
see.
to show off like some stuff she can do.
Yeah. We're going to show off what she's made of, and maybe people will even pick her in the Winner of Champions tournament coming up.
Yeah, I'm excited for that, dude. Do you think we're gonna go all the way? I think we might.
I think
It might be you and me and
it's going to be
Grands,
me and
dude.
you and Grands for sure, yeah. All right. Well, I have not played either of these fighters too much. I've played a handful of Tesla, and I think decent with him. But Tomoe, on the other hand, I've played I think only a single game, and because she just came out, so I haven't had a lot of time to play her.
Yeah.
But I
It
think
was for
yeah.
your reveal.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's it. I played her one time, I think, on my stream because I spent the other few games playing Oda. So I've played Oda a few times, but Tomoe I only played once, and I have no other experience with her. So I'm very much gonna be rusty, I think, playing that fighter. But I'm excited to see how this one goes. But what are your thoughts on the matchup?
Yeah, well, so like you, I really haven't played Tomoe too much. Just I mean, I haven't even got my set yet.
I bet you're
Um,
gonna go on to win tourney games with Tomoe, if I had to guess.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Like I feel like she's got like the potential for like a lot of auto damage, so she could do like really well into like Luke Cage or
Yeah.
like someone like that. But that's a pipe dream.
You sit on a throne of lies.
Anyway, I actually really enjoy her. I don't think I thought I would like her when I first played her in my one practice. I can't keep this bit up. Um, the first few games I played with Tomoe, she felt very meh in my opinion because all of her cards basically do the same thing. They're like, here's a 3, ping for 1 damage.
Sure.
Here's a 2, I can move you up to 3 spaces and ping you, ping. Here's a 4, that's a skirmish, and did I win the combat? Ping. Here's a 3 that turns into a 5 if you're a hero. Okay, that's something new. Here's a 3 that if you're adjacent, you get a discard. Okay, that's something new. Here's a card that if you win the combat, you draw a card. You draw a card, and then if you lost the combat, you look at an opponent's hand and you choose a card for them to discard. Okay, now we're talking like that's pretty wild. And then a 7, end the turn, just a massive 7.
Sure. So
if
she's
you're
got like
adjacent.
2
So
unique cards, basically.
she's got like 2 unique cards, and then the rest is just like ping. But I think that's really where I undervalued her. Three special cards. Her scheme, move 3 spaces,
Sure.
and then either gain an action or heal is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes I usually heal, but in a couple of matchups I've used them like all for the action game just to like aggress, and it's worked out well. So it's kind of cool and dynamic. But anyway, I was like, I don't think this character is for me. And then I played her a couple times with the stakes being a lot higher. And I actually really enjoyed just the positioning game that she promotes with her ability. So like her cards are all pretty simple, but she has like one of the strongest / coolest like abilities in the game, in my opinion, that your opponent always has to deal with. Like it's not something they can ever ignore. Like I feel like against some fighters, like there's a special ability. It's like, for example, Houdini. Like, I mean, it's not like you can ignore it, but like it's not something you can ever really engage with. You're like, this guy's gonna hit me no matter what, right? If I'm trying to end more than 2 away if I can, so he can't just maneuver and attack. But other than that, like his special
he just teleports.
wrecking me the whole game. This is like, okay, do I stay in the zone? Do I run? Am I okay taking a ping, forcing her to boost? I feel like Tomoe generally doesn't like to boost, and she doesn't have to a lot of the time because of her ability. So like, there's some really interesting things of like, okay, you will be taking X number of pings. How many can you afford to take?
Yeah.
How many can she, like all those things, and then calculating lethals with her 7s. Like she's just got a really cool kit. So I'd kind of equate her to Moon Knight, but I'd rate her lower than Moon Knight. And that is because she has a definite weakness for anyone with strong sidekicks. Like, because her ability doesn't work on sidekicks, if you have a sidekick that you can keep alive against the sevens, I feel like she struggles because a lot of her defenses start falling off. She doesn't have feints against sidekicks. She'll highest block is a skirmish, which she'll throw before the fives if she can avoid it, stuff like that. So I really enjoy Tomoe, and especially in any matchup where I can either kill the sidekick quickly or it's just a solo match. I think she really shines there.
Yeah, good point. And one of the biggest things I highlighted in my deck reviews was we have solo versus solo, and that's exactly what Tomoe wants, right?
Hmm.
So on one hand, she gets what she wants because there's no sidekicks, but on the other hand, she likes when people back off, and Tesla pretty much wants to hold forwards, and so she doesn't like that because
Hmm.
she wants to push you away and make you back off and run for your life so that she's getting those pings. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's going to be a really interesting matchup, and I can't really tell who's favored, honestly, because Tomoe's got some really good defenses against Tesla with like her fives and the cancels that work all the
Hmm.
time, right? But then again, Tesla's damage output is just huge.
Yep.
Um, but Tomoe's pretty
I'll be
tanky.
interested to see how Tesla manages his coils
Hmm.
because he does hold forward a lot, but he also likes sometimes to be like, oh, I'm at zero coils. Let me double maneuver away, charge a coil.
Yep.
You can either boost to come in, or then I'll double maneuver again, take center. Now I'm at two coils. What are you going to do about it?
Right.
And in that scenario, I might have taken two pings, if
True.
that was the case. So like, there's some. I'll be really interested to see. I feel like it's going to be a management game on both
Hmm.
ends of like, I think mainly for Tesla figuring out, okay, how many pings am I comfortable with and how many am I not?
Yeah, you're managing not only your coils like normal, but also, yeah, how many pings can I afford to take? So
Yeah, it'll be good.
it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. So let's talk about maps then, huh? Uh, what kind of map do you want to
I feel like we can
do?
just, I mean, we played this one yesterday, right?
Yeah, I think it was that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We don't need to play that one again.
Yeah. I mean,
Not so soon.
it's still fresh in my mind.
Right.
Yeah.
How about the
We
new
played
map?
this
Is
one.
this map good, bad for Tomoe? I mean,
It's, it's kind of a interesting map. I feel like there's a lot of zone cutoff, so it's probably good for Tomoe. There's some interesting zone considerations.
uh-huh.
So it's probably fine. We can showcase it. I'm not the biggest fan of that map just in general, but I think it'd be a cool showcase. So we can do that.
Okay, let's try it out. Just
Let's
why
do it.
not? Have we done this one?
I will say Tomoe loves items.
Ooh, that might be interesting.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, let's do it.
Okay, sure, let's do it. I don't know how much it's going to influence the matchup. It might be significant, but hey, who cares?
You got to make sure not to draw six.
Oh, that's right. I thought we draw 6. I'm too used to Star Wars.
Woo!
Star Wars Unlimited. Let's go. If anybody's watching this and plays Star Wars Unlimited, drop a comment. What deck do you play?
Hit us up. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm a green Han scumbag,
yep.
and John is a red green. Oh, sorry, you go.
I'm a green bean. Green bean scum.
We're
ECL
both pretty scummy.
Sabine.
I like cheating big things out early.
And I like cheating just in general. So
Vic. Sometimes it does feel like that.
how do you think I win these tournaments and stuff, dude? Come on.
You think I came by all this honestly?
Yeah, no way. Nobody could do that.
Sorry.
Drawing some cards. We're gonna play the game. Not with this hand though. I'm gonna mulligan this
I'm
crap.
gonna keep.
Look at
Oh, that's
look at how
awful.
bad that is. Oh my gosh.
That's so
Go
bad.
away. Go away,
I don't
trash.
think I've ever seen that many of your twos in the opening hand.
Seriously, dude. I mean, I'll take one of them. That's fine, but not all that. Okay, I'm ready when you are.
Me too.
All right, man. Good luck. Have fun.
Yeah, you too.
Gonna be interesting. Oh, you're gonna move into the zone right away, aren't you?
All right, here.
I don't love that. Now's like already you're putting me in the situation. It's like, well, can I afford to take a ping here or not? I think I'll start with the maneuver and we'll just see what we draw. What's this? This is the
That's the
discard. This is, ooh, the turret. Oh, I can't make it to the turret. Can I?
You
1,
cannot.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's way far. I think I'm gonna have to take a ping here. I'll go 1, 2. Take the ping. I'll maneuver again. I think I gotta go to this item here, and then I'll pass it to you. Oh, I charge a coil at the end. I can't forget that.
That's right.
Now's when you maneuver and boost over to that EMP pulse thing, the EMP, and then you discard cards for both of us.
So I discard 3, you discard 2.
Yeah.
Seems good.
This deal is getting worse all the time.
I'm debating just zapping you here.
Yeah, that's fair.
Let's do it.
Yup. So I take 2. Ouch. That crappy card.
Some matchups it's like, ooh, that's good, and then most it's like, yeah.
Right. Yep. Okay, ready? My turn? Okay,
Yep.
I can't zap you because you're not adjacent. But what do I want to do here? I'm gonna just attack you here.
Token? No token?
No token.
Hmm.
I don't think you have a way to move on defense. If I'm
Me, skirmish is my only
okay,
one.
skirmish. It can
Let's
be
try this.
anything. It can be anything, buddy.
Hmm.
Oh, well, here's the decision that I am faced with. Um, well. I talked about this. This was one of the
4
key.
damage is a lot,
This
but
is one of the key
force discard is
interactions.
also a lot, so that's like...
Yeah, this was one of the things I talked about. Well, I think I kind of have to take that 4 damage. I'll do it.
I think I'd do the same.
What you want, buddy?
Oh, crap.
What?
It's a pretty good hand.
Plenty of defenses, plenty of options. Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't like you having this one, honestly.
I love that one.
Let's
The X-ray?
give it an X-ray.
Okay.
I feel like that has the most potential to mess me up.
Sure. All right. Good. Take a look at my hand. I got 2 storms. The
Yeah, I'm
blue,
good.
the
I'm good.
induction, and
Yeah.
the thingy.
Could be for the stream, but I have a good memory.
Yeah.
I play Thrawn.
I'm inclined to agree.
Do I want to attack again? Am I worried?
So you're attacking with kinetic. Your problem is if I have the feint.
Right.
If I don't have the feint, though, it's a great play.
Yeah, I'm going to attack again. Okay. That was the other concern, was the skirmish, actually. I didn't want to say it out loud because I didn't want you to play
Can't
it.
make you ping, yep.
But, yeah. So I gain a coil here, and then I'm going to gain 1 at the end of turn.
Mm-hmm.
And you're up.
I'm not sure if this is smart.
You can only
I'm
move through
doing.
sidekicks, buddy. You can only move through sidekicks. You want to take that back?
No, I'll just skirmish you here.
Oh, okay. We're gonna go back a whole turn. I see. No, it's fine. You're good.
I thought, for some reason, I thought I could do that.
All good.
I
See,
didn't even know
that's what
that.
I was worried about, though. Was you skirmishing me and then stealing the +2 token, because that's
Yeah.
terrible.
So
But you wanted to
what
use
you're
a
gonna
7 with a +2. You want to get me with a 9.
maybe.
Yeah, I know. That would have been absolutely brutal.
So I guess I could
You
do
can. Yeah, you can get me with a
that.
9.
Maybe I should think before I do stuff.
And we must adapt our strategy accordingly.
So I don't actually have the 7 right now, but if
Thank
I top deck,
Goodness. Please don't. Please do not top deck that. I will be so upset. I
so I
can't
know you're gonna
afford.
play the one that draws you cards, and I think I can save my healing / act.
No. No way. Are you kidding me?
That'd be lucky. That'd be good.
Oh my gosh, you idiot. What is wrong with you? You top decking goon. Oh my gosh, dude, that's such crap.
Thank you for the idea.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
Holy
I guess I'll take
cow.
6. Guess I'll die. Jeez.
So you go down to 5.
That is
And you
so stupid.
heal. I assume you're healing one
Yeah, I'm
drone.
gonna heal and draw.
No.
Uh, dang, that sucked.
Holy cow.
So stupid.
That's the best top deck ever.
That was so dumb. All right,
That's so dumb.
my turn.
Yeah, you got it, man.
Okay, well, I'm gonna maneuver over here. Can't leave that dumb zone. I'm gonna attack. Can't maneuver again and overdraw.
Let's do this. Yeah. I was thinking about
Yay!
taking it because there's no way you were attacking with anything else, but
It would have been one of the 2 lightning storms, right, that you saw, just
yeah,
for a
yeah.
just to throw
A
something.
dead 3.
Yeah. All right, you're up.
Probably should have taken it, but oh well. We'll attack you first action.
It's probably gonna be your thingamabob that pushes me out of the zone back and forth because you want 2 auto damage here. So let's do this one. Hey, okay, that works too. So I get to move you 2 spaces. We'll go 1. I really wish I could push you out of the purple zone here. That sucks. Let's go.
It's crazy how big this purple zone is.
Yeah,
I don't
seriously.
play on Helicarrier too much, but I really like it.
Let's go 1, 2. Yeah. And then, I could also move me, but I don't want to take a ping. I'm going to keep my coils.
I think that's smart.
Yeah.
Just makes me wish I had a 5 to have chucked at you.
Oh, I forgot you do have 5s on offense. I didn't even think about that. Holy cow. Yeah, that 5 that you defended with, huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna maneuver. I'd love to keep attacking, but
Coward, I see.
I think I want to maneuver. The question is, do I go out of your zone or stay in it? If I go out of your zone, you waste a coil, but you're fine with that because you gotta.
Please
So I'll go
leave.
here.
Please leave.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
I'll go there.
My turn.
Yeah.
Let's attack.
We'll use the token.
Okay.
Not the one to use the token on, but oh, I'll take it.
Yeah, that was optimal for you. That sucks. So I could do what? 1 coil and make it a 5 and give you 2 damage?
Mm-hmm.
I'll do that.
Yeah, that seems pretty solid to me.
And then I have 1 more action. Maneuver. I'll actually stay right where I'm at. Your turn. I don't think it's wise to get closer to you and into single maneuver range.
Yeah. There you go.
Uh,
I'll attack.
Hold on, but I do. Let me move 1 space forward because that way, you can't do the double bounce.
Yes. Yep.
And
Makes
I'm
sense to
still
me.
in boost range, so yeah.
Yeah. I'll attack you.
Attacking first action. I'm gonna do this. I will take what, 2?
Uh-huh.
I'll draw a card. I will spend the coils and draw 2 and heal 1. Ooh, your 5's gone. Feels pretty nice.
Yeah, I'll attack you again.
One of these is fine. Wait, you could be hitting with demon. You could be offensive demon. And you want to lose the combat. Okay, alright. I was pretty confident it was piercing, but just in case, I was like, I should probably throw the 2.
I think that's safe too. Unless you're scared about going to 4. Which I don't know if you are or not.
4 health? Nah. Nah. Who cares?
No one needs help.
Who needs
Are
health?
you moving
Yeah,
me?
come on. I will move you 1 space.
Sounds good.
Actually, that puts you in jetpack range. Not that that probably matters too much, but it might. So, sure, that's fine. I'll put you over 1.
Sounds
Okay,
good.
and it's my turn.
Mhm.
I'm gonna maneuver. I'll stay here, and then I will attack you with what? Actually, screw it. We're gonna charge up.
Mhm.
And then we're gonna attack you. This. Alright, your thing is just a blank 3, right? Because we're
Mhm.
not adjacent. I think I'll just do the 1 auto.
Yeah.
And then
That's a
end of
smart
turn,
move.
I'll charge back up.
Yeah.
Tesla's damage output is crazy, man. If I had my
Really.
7 right now, oh, if I didn't throw that stupid death ray earlier.
Let's go here. Let's maneuver again, and it'll be your turn.
Don't love that. I'll maneuver. 1, 2. And maneuver again. Where is center on this map? Let's think for a second. Is this it right here, I think? I can probably hit every zone in a single maneuver here.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty nice. All right, your turn.
Let's maneuver. Let's do this for 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll stay there.
Dang, Kisos, man. All right.
Yeah.
They're so
And it'll be your
good.
turn.
Okay. Yeah, let's remote you in.
Mm-hmm.
Put you here. And then let's start with an attack.
This could be your 5. 4. Sweet. I'll push you out.
Yeah, that sucks. So I take 1.
Mm-hmm.
That was super bad. If it was my 5, that'd be so much better. Gosh dang it. Do I want the card draw? No, I'll just take the action gain.
Mm-hmm.
Then I will maneuver. I have 2 actions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's maneuver. Let's just maneuver again. And you can go.
I'll attack you. I'll attack you.
It's probably the warrior's way, and you're going to pop me for 2 auto here. That's awful. Yeah, I don't like that at all. Yep. No coils for me. And you get to jump adjacent with that? Oh my gosh. Insane.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I feel like, I don't know. You didn't spend any coils, so that tells me you have, like, I feel like the feint you're saving on too for, like, worst case scenario shenanigans. Or I guess this one. I guess that matters against my 7. I was going to say most of my stuff you only want to spend 1 coil on anyway.
Right. I have to not
But I
die
guess
here,
my 7 is
though.
terrifying for you.
Yeah.
I'll maneuver.
Hate
I'll
that.
go here.
Alright. My turn.
Mm-hmm.
Let's remote you in.
Yep, that second one.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Let's attack. What do you got? Oh, come on. I guess I'll ditch it. And
Yeah,
I have
mean,
to
it's still something
discard.
to be. And yeah, you have to discard.
I'll discard this.
Mm-hmm.
I'll attack again. Come on, dude.
Let's go. Oh, you had it. We'll ditch their 4.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm gonna gain the action.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I had to kill you this turn. That was my only hope. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, well, I should have done the action gain first. I could have done action gain, draw a card, gain the action, then smack with the 5 to refuel. But I thought you'd play a cancel for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen either of those feints. Any feints,
Yeah, you have
actually.
3 of them. You have 3
I've been
copies.
terrified. I got you down to 5, and I was like, I feel like this is easy. And then I'm like, only had 1 or 2 defenses in hand this entire game.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, we'll end it with style.
You got the 7 even?
Yeah.
Yeah, GG.
GG.
Oh my gosh. That was just a blowout. Because I took 6. That was so
I mean,
stupid.
as you mentioned, it was just the craziest top deck ever. If I didn't top deck that, I feel like it would have been a while. We would have had a game on our hands.
Yeah, for sure. Because you don't have any huge damage output otherwise. And that gives Tesla time to play his tempo with his coils and whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, yeah. Got mega punished. That's exactly what I was concerned about. I should have used the token with my kinetic attack. And I'm like,
Yes.
well...
Oh, yeah. So even if I
feint
skirmish
or skirmish, yeah, at least I saved myself 2 damage.
Yeah, so you'd only be hit for 1 extra, I guess, because of this +1. I would have used that one.
But then you can't do the 7, right?
Well, we were here, so I could have skirmished you here and then maneuvered hit with the 7.
Yep.
So I think it probably, I guess, would have been
It would have
similar.
been the same thing.
Yeah.
That was just brutal.
It was just because I top decked the 7, honestly. Like, that was it.
Oh, man.
I feel like, Tesla being at 0, like, I feel like Tesla wants to float at 2, I guess, right? Because anytime you're at 1, I come in with a 7.
Exactly.
That's
You gotta...
so scary.
Yeah, dude.
I don't even know. Yeah, it's like, it's interesting to learn the different sides of each matchup, but that like feels super rough for you.
All right, game 2. Let's see if this can go any better for me. Let's hope Tesla gets smashed twice in a row. I also took 2 like an idiot from the turret. That was huge. All right. I'm just dumb. I'm just bad at this game, I see. Okay.
I was happy about the turret for sure.
Yeah, I'm just bad.
Oh, I'm keeping Sire. Are you good?
That was so stupid. I took 3 damage right off the bat. Why would I ever do that?
Yeah, you took a ping and then went in the zone, and then you spent all your coils on offense.
Seriously? Like, how else do I win trophies, man? I told you, I must cheat.
So
I can't.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, John, after turn 3, you taken 9 damage.
Yeah, I had 5 health. The second turn. Like, what the heck, dude? I'm so bad. Oh, man. I'm really just losing it. It's all just... Unmatched is gone. It's all Swoo now. It's all Swoo and Lorcana.
Yeah, Swoop,
I can't play Unmatched.
Lorcana, Good Knock.
Yeah.
There are too many good games coming out, dude.
Dude, I know. Seriously. I'll keep as well. We'll see what happens.
I'm going to place myself in any space one.
The Rocket Pack.
A rocket pack.
That's so good for Tesla, actually. Because, like, you don't usually want multiple attacks with Tesla unless you're doing a combo with 7 Hertz. But typically, like, you're fine with a single attack if you got 2 coils. Like, you'll get your damage output.
Absolutely.
So this is such a good starting setup for you, actually. All right, don't forget to charge up. All right, I'm going to gonna maneuver, but I do get to go to the turret at least. And I'll maneuver again.
The turret?
The turret. I love turds.
What?
So, come at me, bro. You're up.
All right, you do you, man.
Yep. Whoa. Okay, the +2. I can't play against items, I guess. Well, I guess we're trading health, and I'm okay with that, I think. I think. And attacking with a +2. So, it's probably the cancel. You're trying to cancel me off the internet.
Try anything and you cancel, bro.
Polyphase. So, I think I have to do this no matter what. Okay, well.
I was trying to move here, move
Oh
here,
my
and charge
gosh.
the coil.
I see, yeah. And discard and get a random discard.
No, I
Or
was
you
just
don't
gonna
even have
spend
to.
the
Yeah,
two,
end
so
it
that,
too.
or the one, so that I have 2
Mhm.
coils left going into your turn.
That makes sense. And then you would have been adjacent if I wanted to come attack you even.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'm happy I fainted that. So
Mm-hmm.
not happy that you still have 2
Let me see if
coils.
you don't even faint, because I didn't for that whole game.
Yeah.
I didn't play that whole last game with any faint.
Seriously. I'm gonna zap you while I can. That's for sure.
Yep.
And
I think
then
that's a must.
I'm gonna maneuver Mr. Initiative Man. I'll go 1 and 2. Your turn.
I don't know if you know how to play Tomoe.
I don't know if I know how to play this game.
I've never had Tomoe be like, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna run.
Really? Okay, maybe hey, this is my kind of style, right? With every
And that's right,
fighter.
yeah. The Coward's Way.
Yeah, exactly. The coward's way.
You should have a new card called Coward's Way instead of
Right.
Warrior's Way.
We'll just like do a quick little edit. I'm sure Darkblade can he can do a quick edit, right? And make it the coward's way, a coward's
Coward.
way instead of
I'm sure.
warrior's
You
way. I'm sure he can do that. he's a genius with the editing.
could. Maneuver. And
Look at this loser overdrawing. Such a loser.
such a loser.
Oh man, not the experimentation.
Alright, and it'll be your turn.
All right. All right. All right. Let's maneuver. And 1, 2. Hello, adjacency. Does it matter if I'm like which one I'm in?
This one has more coverage if I can't run to. If you go here,
You can't attack and then maneuver away. Oh, you
Mhm.
can actually.
I
You
mean, I
can.
can.
You
It's
still
just-
can to orange.
I don't think it matters too much.
All right. I will attack with.
Except I guess for my Jaws of the Beast.
Right. Right. I'm playing around Jaws right here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this.
I'll use the token.
Okay. Aha! I had it. Okay, yours first.
No coil.
No coil. All right, then we get to go. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
And where do you teleport adjacent?
I have to?
Yes.
Oh, that sucks. I didn't want that. I just wanted to push you away. Dang it. All right, fine. I guess I'll go. Tomoe wants to be in less zones, right? Because then it's, if I'm here, you're not gonna take pings, but I guess you also can't really get away.
Hmm.
So I'll go here, and it's your turn. Oh, you
Take one.
turd! You turd!
Take one loser.
Yeah,
Right
yeah.
out.
If it's polyphase, I feel bad. If it's anything else, I'm happy about playing this.
Do 1 for 2.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, I think so.
That's actually like an ideal interaction, I think. I didn't highlight that one in my reviews, but that's probably one to look
Maneuver.
out for.
Charge, and it'll be your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna maneuver.
Mhm.
Uno, dos. And then I will Kisos here and heal 2, and it's your turn. Dang it. Not the remote control.
He's got the remote control.
The really interesting thing is you could use remote control defensively if you needed to push Tomoe out.
For sure.
I don't see Tesla really doing that probably in this matchup because he's trying to kill you. He's like he's always got the initiative basically, and he's probably gonna lose in fatigue. But I mean, if it makes it that far,
It's not losing in fatigue if you keep running.
I guess. Oh well, what do you want me to do otherwise? You have this massive hand advantage at all times.
I know. Tesla's terrifying.
Please no polyphase. Yes.
No coils.
Okay, the threat remains.
That's right.
Don't love that.
This map is so. I feel like this map is pretty good for Tomoe.
I think so. Yeah, well,
Because like
maybe.
repulsion blast not being able to like do anything is like garbage.
Seriously, dude, we should have probably picked a different map.
Yeah, it's all good. I'll attack
Poor
again.
Tesla. Polyphase is just gonna annihilate me. But I can't just take it. Can I? I don't think I can just take ever. You might be throwing your 5 just to get healing as well. I think that's actually pretty likely. So we're gonna do it again. Ah!
I'll do one zap.
Okay. That wasn't good.
It'll be your turn.
Okay. Attack you with this. Nice. Two. All right. D6 it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Come on! Are you kidding me, dude? What is your problem? That was so stupid. Oh my gosh.
Let's go.
That
See, here's the
card,
thing.
you are that card's master. It only obeys you.
It's so hard to like see. Like it's like impossible to like get out of your zone.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
Alright, so I did that. I got one more action.
Mm-hmm.
Do I dump the EMP and just say we don't get cards? Oh, I'm not
Well,
on
you're
it.
not on
Okay,
it
okay,
right now.
okay. Well, yeah, I guess I got a maneuver. Unfortunately. And let's take this, and it's your turn.
It's maneuver.
That gave you the
Yeah.
breathing room you needed.
Yeah, it was
That was a
very good for me, I think.
Yeah, that was a great play. Okay, my turn.
Mm-hmm. And hitting the 7 was obviously so stupid
That
good.
was so dumb. I go 1, 2. I'll maneuver again. And I'll just hop back here, and it's your turn.
Mm-hmm. Maneuver. Maneuver. And charge.
My
And it'll
go.
be your turn.
Alright, I'll maneuver. And maneuver, and you can go.
Let's maneuver. Go here and I'll attack you.
I think I'm okay doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Me first, huh?
Mm-hmm.
We will push you 1 space out of my zone.
I'll gain 1 action.
Mm-hmm. Can you imagine if this was 1 coil, gain 1 action, 2 coils, gain 2 actions?
Yeah.
How cool that would be. Man.
Cool is one word. Maneuver. Go here. Take charge 1 and we'll ditch kinetic.
Okay.
Alright. And it'll be your turn.
Okay. I will maneuver. I have 3 options. I can double maneuver in place and overdraw. I can go use the EMP thing, or I can go in for an attack.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know which one is best here. I feel like discarding your cards doesn't really matter. Like, I feel like that doesn't help me, and leaving you the option of coming in and using the +2 on offense is probably the wrong call. So I don't think it's EMP, so it's a matter of attack or maneuver in place and overdraw. Attacking doesn't necessarily make you use coils, but it might. But then I still am leaving the +2 open. But I think I need to come in here and do something. So I will attack. All right, what do we
Let's
got
see it.
here? Oh no, are you kidding me? My last 5. Jeez.
Sweet.
Okay, well, at least I got this cool thing. We'll go 1, 2, you take a damage, and 3.
Mm-hmm. And where are you hopping?
I forgot about that. Dang it. I keep thinking I'm just going to push you away like a rending shot. That's so stupid. But
Yeah, I considered not spending, but I have to get rid of that 5.
I'm going to go here. Actually, hold on. Where was I? Here? And you were here?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually going to do this, and you'll take
Mhm.
the damage, and then we'll go up here so that if you want to move away at all. And you're adjacent.
That's brutal.
That's what we're going to do. And then it's your turn. Much better. Sometimes I'm good at this game.
Yeah. Looking rough for our hero.
I think I agree.
Our hero being me.
I know. We all know I'm the villain.
I'll attack.
First action, huh? Kinetic or
Heck of a
hurts?
50-50.
Yeah. Big time. Alright, big risk. Ah! Well, I guess this is not the
I'm
worst
not going
thing.
to.
Okay. Yeah, that's not the worst thing for me, I guess.
Yeah. And you draw one unconditionally.
Oh, it's unconditional for draw. Okay.
Yeah.
I just, like, the pings, man, they add up too much. Like, it's so much damage.
Yeah, it really is.
It's crazy. Alright, my turn.
Mm-hmm.
An attack. So I have to draw 2, and you're probably gonna... Yeah, the thing that sucks is if you move out, you take the ping.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, because of this map, dude. I'm telling you, like, I talked about in my review how this card would be an amazing defense because of things like this. And Demon offensively, right? This is a premium defense. And it's really good, too, because it pushes Tomoe back so that you have some breathing room without having to take the
But not
pings.
on here.
But on this map, it's near impossible to do this on defense, which really, really hurts Tesla in the matchup.
100%. I'm debating spending both and just trying to hit something else good because I feel like I might need that.
Right, like hit the other 7, right? Or so that you can live.
But, so here's the thing. I have to do this. And then if I do this, then I take a ping, which sucks. But you can't reach me this turn. But then you draw 2. So if I do this card, then you don't overdraw.
Right. You could just spend 1 coil and not do the discard.
Or my fine gain attack the second time.
Yeah, it's tough to say.
Probably not. I don't know, man. I guess you're out of 5s. That's healthy for me.
Uh-huh. And I'm not adjacent.
I feel like all these decisions are bad.
Right, I know. I know
Like
the
taking
feeling.
1 feels awful because that puts me at 5, which is closer to 3, which is the bad number.
The bad number. Don't go to 3, Sonny. That's the bad number.
That's right. I'll do it.
All right, and then I gotta draw 2.
Mm-hmm.
Let me put that over there. We'll draw
And then Kisos to the
cards.
token for free.
And then, yeah, Kisos to the token for free. Brutal. Your turn. Thanks for the idea, buddy.
You're welcome. Yeah, I knew you weren't thinking about it.
Right.
Maneuver again. Go there. Yeah, go there.
My turn.
And wait. You can hide in yellow or white.
Yep. You gotta be in solo to be able
That's
to...
fine. I hate white.
Why would you say something so controversial yet so brave?
I'll stay here.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. I'll maneuver. Didn't know that about you, Chad.
That's right.
Gonna maneuver again. And end of turn, I'm gonna ditch a piercing shot that I don't need. And it's your turn.
Oh no, I think you're gonna regret that.
I might. I very well might.
Yeah.
Once I'm at like an empty deck, I'm gonna be like, man, I wish I had a piercing shot right now.
Boy, where are my piercing shots?
Yeah. How am I so far behind in deck? What the
Wait,
heck
I have
happened?
an extra coil. I went to 1 here and then I double maneuvered, so I should
Yep,
be
you're
at 2
right.
coil.
That makes a big difference.
I mean, yes.
Here we go. It's go time. I don't want to die. I'm not gonna die. I'm at full health, but
I'm wondering what you're seeing, what I'm not. How are you dying here?
I guess I'm not dying. But I don't want to take 3. I don't want you to heal too. Like, come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. All that's bad. And you still have fully charged, so it very well could be a polyphase, and then you go fully charged, and then you smack again with another double coil, which is terrible. So, well, we gotta. This is probably your big combo pop-off turn. We gotta try something. Okay, I'll take 1. This is a great time for a kinetic. Am I in danger of running out of defenses? I don't think so. Alright. Yep, that's fine.
Yeah, it sucks. I feel like it's really hard to get that defense off.
Yeah, in this matchup it is.
Yeah.
Alright, my turn.
Mm-hmm.
Attack you.
Seven, 7, 7.
Oh, that's still really good.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, this sucks. You might be able to do something with fatigue. I'll attack you again.
No coil.
Swapping with this never triggers her ability, right?
Correct.
Because there's
And
simultaneous.
it's a swap with an adjacent, so.
Oh. May swap swords with an adjacent, deal 1 damage to it. Oh, I'm an idiot. I should have moved adjacent when I attack with this. Okay, your turn.
Let's maneuver.
Now's when I want that.
Again.
What the heck? My turn.
Mm-hmm.
Maneuver. And attack.
No coils.
Okay. Your turn.
I'll zap you.
Yeah, that sucks. I'm gonna die to zaps and fatigue. Holy cow.
Let's maneuver.
I guess maybe Tomoe can't play the long game.
Let's maneuver again. Yeah.
Can you not do that? Like, just go away. I'm just gonna, yeah, I'm seriously just gonna die to zaps and fatigue. I'll maneuver. Now's when I wish I had these. I should have saved this. I'm so stupid.
Mm-hmm. That
I'm
would have been huge.
So stupid, because then I can turn my dumb blues into attacks. And that, like, never matters, but it matters here. I'll attack.
Faint?
Ha ha ha! We got one.
Take
Let's
one.
go. That was massive. I needed that. All right.
Yeah, and I'll zap you.
Yep.
That was my thought. If he faints this, then I get a zap. So
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty sure it was a feint, so I was considering something else. But I wanted, if you were trying to do a confront any demon or god, I wanted to be okay with that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Actually, I'm gonna leave you here after the zap.
Okay.
I'll move
Mm.
and I'll attack.
Token or no token?
Token, thank you.
So this is going to be a 7 plus heal 2. Oh, that one. Okay. Well, I'll take 2.
Gain an action. Maneuver. Do I go here or do I run? Let's run. Alright. Yeah,
You took your ping.
I did.
Oh, boy. Let's maneuver. One, two. I'll maneuver again. And your turn.
I'll maneuver. Boost. I might use this.
We'll do this. Ready?
Right.
No, you discarded trash, dude. Come on. That was so good for you. Holy cow. Alright, my turn. Kiso.
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
For the action, I'm assuming.
Yup, action gain, of course. And I'll attack with this.
We'll faint.
Yep. And then I will play Witness.
Yep. I gotta do this.
Yes. Let's go. All right, your turn.
Think you barely have it. Oh. No. Yeah. I mean, I think you have it, but...
I think I barely have it as well, maybe?
Oh, for sure. Because you have this left.
Yeah, I know. Do I have it in my hand?
Maneuver again. Well, it doesn't matter. You maneuver attack.
You're out of polyphase. So your only potential defenses, you have a 7 hertz, heal, a lightning storm, and a kinetic.
Kinetic, yeah.
And so, yep, I'll attack then.
Yep.
Holy cow, dude.
GG.
Oh my gosh, GG.
Oh my
gosh.
goodness. That's
That was
awesome.
wow, dude.
So I had kinetic. So I could have thrown kinetic into your 3.
Okay.
But I guess maybe that would have been the right play. I should have thought about it.
If you play the kinetic into the 3, then you take 1, bringing you down to what?
4, but then I still have
Then
2
you have
coils.
polyphase.
Yeah, I win if I
What?
do that. I should have thought about it.
You probably... What if I attack with the flash?
If you attack with that was what I was concerned about, was my thought.
Because then
But
you...
I don't think I realized that I didn't have to spend any coils on the first one. And then I can just guarantee to have it against the 7. Because that's what I was concerned about is I throw the 3 into flash. Or I throw this into flash, I go down to 4. And then I throw the 3 and I'm dead to the flash. But that's not true because I didn't spend any coils. So I'm no longer... Not the flash. I'm dead to the witness. But that's not true.
Yeah, that was my whole goal, was to make you spend a coil by doing this. And then, like, because maybe you didn't have the kinetic, right? Like,
Yeah.
it could have been in your deck, and you didn't have the 2 block. So you either take it undefended, which is, like, a lot of damage, and then maybe I can play Keys. Well, I already played the Kisos.
So, yeah, if you did this, well,
I
you
don't know.
draw off of that. So I go down to 4, you draw, you have no cards in deck, you attack, I throw this, full block it if you throw witness. So then...
Me drawing might be the difference maker there.
Well, I think you probably lose either way if you didn't draw.
Well,
Because
if
all you have left is a feint.
And the witness. If I don't throw the witness.
Oh, if you don't throw the witness, so you just maneuver?
Yeah.
I feel
Maneuver,
like then I just keep saving polyphase until...
I mean, sure, but that means you're not attacking. Well, I don't think you need to attack with it at this point. You have plenty of other things. How many cards did you have left in your deck?
Anything else?
Well, it was just a matter of, like, maybe I can win in fatigue. Because if you take this undefended or something, then...
Yeah, I should have thrown this first. I think if I throw this first, I win.
I think you win every time if you do this.
Yeah. So I should have thought about that.
Oh,
well. It was a great game.
Yeah, that was close, man.
In the mid game, I was like, I think I might have it, but I need to make sure I don't mess up. And here we are.
Yeah, just barely, huh?
Yeah, I think that's probably how Tesla wins, though. I think he wins by rain or out of gas.
Yeah, seriously, like you did.
You had both sevens. I mean, I think I lose. Like, I just got lucky that I milled one of them. I think if I mill any other card from your hand there, I probably just lose.
That's true. You did hit a skirmish and a worthy opponent and a 7 off your
Yeah.
discards.
Yeah. I meant mainly just a seven. I mean, those other ones are good, but you have a number of decent cards that I'm happy hitting. But the
Yeah, the
seven, I think, is
7.
like the big thing.
But it,
Because here,
like,
if I polyphased one of them, like you witness your polyphase one of them, you still have feint in hand. So I have to double maneuver and go to one coil, and then you're able to hit with it and kill me.
I don't know. I feel like Tesla can play in a way where he can always just save double coils polyphase defense for the witness. He might be able to play that way and just win like that. Like, you didn't use any of your
But here,
draws, did you?
say
You
what?
didn't use any of your draws, did you?
I use one,
These.
I think,
You
defensively.
did use one to draw 3, though?
No, I didn't spend any.
Okay, yeah, you never spent a coil on them.
Yep.
So that helped you in the deck count. And
But I guess I hear what you're saying. But if I don't have a two value block there, I just lose to that combo that you just did every time. So like I have to have a two block and then also polyphase.
sure, I mean, but that's only if I'm setting up with Kisos.
Yeah, which I think you are, right? If I'm
I mean, it only got that way. I was using these as heals, right? Because I was trying to play the long game, but then you got so far ahead in the deck count, I couldn't win in the long game anymore,
yeah,
I don't think. And so I had to just make my last stand, right?
yeah. And
uh,
I mean, it was very close. It was very close.
yeah, it's super close.
I guess I'm saying is that I agree you can play to where you always have polyphase like in the end game. I just don't see it happening where you can do that twice. So
I
like
mean,
here in the end game, I polyphase. Like let's say your last card instead of this was another 7. It's just game over for me. I can't do anything.
like, do you think Tomoe should always go, like, Kisos into Demon into Witness?
No, it doesn't matter that order. Like you could have Kisos for healing and then attacked with Witness.
Sure, you're just saying Witness in general, but, like, you're probably not
So
throwing both of
if
these
you
at the
force me
end
to
game,
spend, what I'm
though.
saying is you force me to spend 2 coils one turn, and then the immediate next turn I don't have 2 coils, so you guarantee
But
like
you
to find
could.
coil.
You could, though.
I could just with this.
Right. I mean, so if I'm trying to save both of my Witness till the very end game, you can also save yours for the very end game to guard against that, right?
I
And if
think
you have to play this in the mid
no, right?
game,
Because so here's my thought. At some point, I have to spend 2 coils, right? That's what happens in this game. At some point, I have to spend 2 coils. At that point, if you have a 7, it really hurts Tesla. 3 damage into Tesla. I know at last game you said, "Oh, I'm fine taking 3 damage." I'm not.
but I
Taking
think
3 damage sucks.
But I think the reason is because we're both idiots and we both got zapped by the laser turret for 2 auto.
I mean, I don't think there's a way to really play around that, right?
Well, maybe on this
I think
map.
Tomoe's gonna get that.
Maybe on
right?
this map, but like in a regular game.
In a regular game, you're correct.
It might be
on
different.
a different map, I'm not getting zapped by laser turret.
Right. And
Yeah.
then you can afford to take 3 damage over an X-ray, right? Like,
I don't know if you can. I
You
would be
also-
hesitant to say you can take 3 damage.
well,
in
you
this
also
matchup.
missed 2 healing. Like, you didn't get 2 healing as well.
Yeah, I mean, you have feints too.
Yeah, but I can't feint everything. I got some pretty dang good combat interactions this game, right? Like
Yeah.
everything that could have been a polyphase that I was worried about wasn't. Granted, now that we talk about it more, you probably want this for defense for the Witness, but regardless,
That was hilarious to me when you kept saying, "Oh, is this the polyphase?" I'm like, "No, not yet
well,
again."
but this one also works against the Witness, right? Because it's probably a 6.
Yeah.
Um,
But,
But,
yeah. Either of those work double wide.
right on double
No
coil.
defense.
But
Yeah,
anyways,
but I just think because this I have to spend 2 coils to get any damage for, and I just don't feel like it's worth it to be like, here, take 3, and now I'm vulnerable. Come at me, bro.
mhm.
You know, that seems scary to me.
Yeah, no, I do agree. But like I landed the deeds into that, which was good. I did a full block into one of them, which was good. I did a skirmish into this. So like
Mhm.
I had a lot of really good combat interactions.
But I mean, Tesla's not killing you, right? So
Oh, sure. So that's what you're saying is like it doesn't matter if I get the good interactions or not. I can take more damage.
yeah. I think you could have even afforded to like take one of the attacks. Like I think you were at 13 and you're like, I don't know if I can afford to take 4.
Sure.
So you defended, which with the deeds, which I think was fair because it's just deed. No, it wasn't deeds.
It
What did you
was
throw?
the 3, this one.
It was a 3. I think that's fine. Any blues are fine there, but
Yeah.
I think you also could have afforded. I think for your versatiles, that was what I was thinking. Like I think you could have when it's not a 7. I think you can afford to like take.
Sure.
Like when I think I had 0 coils at that point.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
But I mean, so my biggest thing, I agree that Tesla can totally do it. I'm not saying that it's not undoable for him, but I just feel like, and last game was obviously an enigma, but I feel like both of us were way more. I was way more scared on the Tesla side than I was the Tomoe side. Playing this matchup.
Yeah.
I just felt like, okay, how do I even like I can't run away to charge my coils, so I'm gonna stay in double attack range. And do I have defenses I'm fine playing and not spending coils on? And then if I do spend a coil, is there a chance that there's Kisos into a 7? That just hurts. So I feel like the threat of always like Kisos into a 7 or this into a 7 is just terrifying.
Yeah. That's true.
So like I just feel like, and if there's like a scenario like, okay, you get me down to 1 or 2, but now I am forced to give you the double attack, most likely. Like I have to stay in your zone. I can't run away.
Right.
So I have to do that. And then as you mentioned, like these are great defensively, but it's not like I'm running the whole game. I have to keep engaging in combat interactions, right? I feel like Tesla can't just be like, oh, I'm going to play fatigue this game versus Tomoe. I just don't feel like that's an option. That I don't think that's a luxury Tesla has to be like, oh, this is how I'm going to play this matchup, because he doesn't have any passes. He has these, which are like his passes, but that's, is it going to get fainted? Who knows? This is like the biggest question because I feel like Tomoe often throws at least one feint on offense. I feel like she's a fighter who has just other defenses to throw too, that she's just like, okay, I'll throw an offensive feint. So I just feel like it's more like I can find my way to fatigue. Like that game, I wasn't like playing for that. It was just like I wasn't able to kill you at all because you were defending everything really well. So then I was like, all right, well, I just got to keep attacking and you just got to keep hitting with piercing shots.
Yeah.
But that was my thought. Like you kept attacking me with piercing shots. So I felt like that just really lent itself well for me to play in fatigue. I'm like, this guy keeps drawing.
I did 2 of them only, but that's a lot. That's a lot.
I think if you save these for some shenanigans and like do some other stuff to get extra value there, that could be really solid. I don't know. I feel like it's a super dynamic matchup. I mean, we saw there if I had thought a little harder, I would have had it. So I think like it was, that was a Tesla dub. The first game was a Tomoe dub. So I think it's super close.
Yeah, I do too.
I think this map was super felt great for Tomoe. So on a normal map, I feel like it probably will feel like better for Tesla.
Yep. I agree. You'll be able to push out of the zone with repulsion a lot easier, and then that gives you breathing room to recover your coils.
I mean, I think we both fell out on the purple and the white.
We did.
It's like you're not 2. I can't even get you out of the zone.
Yeah, it was brutal.
But I love this item map. It's very fun.
Yeah, I love this map in general, but I do agree it's definitely Tomoe favoring here. But overall, I think the matchup is it's slightly Tomoe favored, but it's not terrible for Tesla.
Yeah, I would agree. I think if I had this in tournament, I'd be okay.
Heck, dude,
I'd be okay as long as I have I mean, with split advantage, I feel like you're fine too, because Tesla going first felt pretty good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Tomoe going first and just maneuvering and then going into your zone feels pretty bad.
Yes, for
feel.
sure. Because then you just double maneuver and stay in the zone, most likely. That's what I would
Yeah,
do if I had to
or yeah,
redo
if you
it.
run, it feels bad, I think.
Yeah, if you run, take a ping, and then get zapped, and then take 6 from a witness, that's all feels pretty bad. I gotta say
Yeah.
from
Oh
experience
man.
on that
Well,
one.
chalk this up to another game Chad threw in the end game.
Yeah, right. Oh, and I didn't throw. Come on, the
The
difference
Medusa. Oh
though,
well, you threw the
yours
early game. I just meant
exactly. Yours
I could
feels
have thought
worse
about
because
it a lot
I
better.
throw in the early game, you throw in the
Yeah,
end
I
game.
thought at the end. It's so true, dude. There have been a couple. Right. Think of the Luke Annie game we had.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
seriously.
Where it was like what turn 4 and you left Luke in the zone, and then I captain's orders pearls
That was
lanyap for
that was so
perfectly.
dumb, dude. So dumb. Out of
And
nowhere,
then
I was
I
like,
play Medusa and I just take it with a snipe in hand. I'm like, GG. And you're like, if you defend, you win there, Chato.
yeah. Yet you are still like the king of the end game scenario.
I don't know why, dude. I don't know why I keep messing these up.
It's because it's not tourney. It's okay.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Well, good games, man. That was a lot of
Oh,
fun.
always a pleasure, dude. These were a blast.
Yeah, very fun. And it's nice to actually get another episode in after, about
Yeah,
a
well, I
week or
mean, it
so.
was, there's just a week between.
Yeah, it's not a big deal, but we'll keep them coming for sure. We'll be. I'm sure the March episode coming up next will be probably around, I don't know, early March or so. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm
Fingers
sure.
crossed. All right, man. That's gonna do it. Thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you next episode.
Sounds good. See ya.
Later.
All right, there you have it, guys. That's going to do it for Matchup of the Month February. And I think we had some really cool games. We did see Tomoe end up taking both of them, but that second game was very, very close, and I do think Chad had that if he didn't misplay. And in the first game, Tomoe kind of blew out Tesla, but I think I took a unnecessary risk and ended up just taking way too much damage early and wasn't able to come back from that. But I do think also the map really helped out Tomoe, so there's that to factor in. Overall, I think the matchup is relatively even, slightly Tomoe favored if I had to pick one of them, but I think you'd be relatively okay with either of those fighters if you had to play it in tournaments. So really fun matchup. I would highly recommend trying it out. It's just really cool trying to manage the tempo of the game because it's a very tempo-oriented matchup, and I always think those are a lot of fun. So go ahead and try it out for yourselves. Leave a comment down below. Let me know how it went for you. And that's going to do it for the video, everybody. So make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you are not already. And please consider supporting me on Patreon, where you can cast your votes for future Matchup of the Month episodes. And I appreciate all the support from everybody out there. So that'll do it for today. Thank you all for watching. I'm ZeroSkater12, and I'll see you next time.